What's going on, guys? Coach Bronson here, the No Carb Athlete, and this is my week 13 update on increasing my lean mass, building skeletal muscle mass. I'm trying to get to 100 pounds of skeletal muscle mass, maintaining my body fat in pounds. I'm right around 20 pounds of body fat, and I want to try to maintain that while I build muscle. I don't want more fat on my body. And I'm doing it all without eating carbs. All right, so how are things going? Well, the last 13 weeks have been awesome. Overall, I'm up about 3.5 pounds of skeletal muscle. My body fat is maintained. I started at about 20 pounds. I'm still at about 20 pounds of body fat mass. So my body fat percentage has gone down over the last 3 weeks since my last update. So my last update was week 11. So week 11, week 12, coming into week 13 or ending week 13, I've actually maintained everything. So my body fat hasn't changed. My weight is basically the same, 182. My body fat percentage is basically the same, just over 10% body fat. All of that has maintained. So what I'm trying to do, obviously, is grow. So a 3-week trend where I haven't gained muscle, I haven't lost fat, okay, is good, but I want to do better. All right. So what are some of the things I can look at when I'm trying to figure out how do I need to make adjustments? What are the things I need to change to improve my lean mass gain? I'm not worried about my fat because my fat has stayed the same. It doesn't need to go down, right? I'm at 10% body fat. As I increase my lean mass, my body fat percentage will go down. The goal is to maintain my fat at around 20 pounds, right? I don't want to gain 5 pounds of muscle and gain 5 pounds of fat. That kind of defeats the purpose, right? I don't want my body fat percentage to stay the same. I want my body fat percentage to actually go down because my fat does not increase. Okay. So what am I looking at doing? So there's 3 things I'm looking at. All things that have actually kind of tweaked and changed over the last couple of weeks, which explains why there hasn't been as much skeletal muscle mass gain over the last few weeks. Okay. Number one, I've been focusing on making sure that I hit my protein number, not going over my protein number. So my protein goal each day is 165 grams. That is how much lean mass I have on my body. And I do a 1-to-1 ratio. So the last couple of weeks, normally, so if we look at my earlier videos, if you look at the numbers from before, where I went from 91 pounds of skeletal muscle mass to almost 94 pounds of skeletal muscle mass, those periods of time, I was doing about a 180 to a 190 average of protein. Okay. In some cases, there were weeks where I was at 195 or 200 on many days of the week, or over 200 grams of protein per day. I was putting on a lot more muscle in that period of time. Over the last few weeks, just a lot of stuff going on with my personal life and business and things like that. I've been getting my minimum protein. I had not been going over that. So my minimum protein is 165. I've been right at 165, 170 for the past 2, almost 3 weeks. And if we look at that and say, okay, so you're hitting the minimum, there isn't any growth. So maybe that's one of the factors that we can look at to help build and grow over the next few weeks. Go for that, change that target, and try to get more protein in. So instead of going to a 1-to-1, I think I'm going to shoot for a 1.2, which if I do my math correctly, 165 times 1, hold on, times 1.25. We'll say 1.25. That's 205. So I'm looking at the next week, next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, I'm going to shoot for around 200 grams of protein per day as my minimum. And then we'll see over the next couple of weeks if that helps with my growth. Okay. I have a feeling it will. We'll see how it goes. So basically over the last few weeks, I've dropped my protein down 20 to 30 grams per day less than I was getting before when I had really good growth. We're going to kick that back up again and see what happens. Okay. So that's one thing to look at. What's going on with your protein intake? Has it gone down? If it's gone down, kick it back up and see if that helps you with more gains. Okay. The second thing that's going on, if you watch my video from last time or the last couple of videos I've done on my progress, you'll know that I've been trying to focus more on powerlifting and doing more specifically getting stronger in deadlift, getting stronger in bench, getting stronger in squat. Financial things and some other lifestyle stuff that has happened with just a bunch of different things. We've moved. There's been some other stuff happening. I had to change gyms. So I'm now working out at the Purple Place. Yay. Okay. So I don't have access to barbells. Everything that I'm doing is in a Smith rack when it comes to barbell work. So my squats, my deadlifts, everything else, it's not quite the same. It's very difficult to get the same level of intensity in lifting and weight and everything else when you're not working in an environment that actually lets you do that. So I've had to still working on strength and still working on trying to get better at the squat, the deadlift, and the bench, just having to do it differently. And instead of working as heavy, I'm still getting as much heavy work as I can with the equipment I have available. But I've also had to add in more volume and try to build in a little bit more hypertrophy. So the last couple of weeks, I've really been trying to figure out what's going to work best with the equipment that I have, the schedule that I'm maintaining, and all those types of things. So my workouts have changed. I think over the next week, it's been a couple of weeks now, I think I found something within the last week that is going to be a good rhythm and a good routine. So we'll see how being more consistent and having a program that I'm settled into, that I can work the appropriate volume, the appropriate intensity, and all those other things, if that helps with the lean mass gain. So a combination of more protein, a combination of now having a routine that I think I've worked out that I can get settled in and execute consistently is going to make a big difference as well. So that's another thing to look at. When you're looking at you're not growing, you're feeling like it's hard to build muscle, you need to have a consistent routine that you're working on a regular basis. Okay. So if you're changing a bunch of things around, if you're doing this, if you're doing that, if you're trying HIIT, if you're trying strength training, if you're trying who knows what, functional body weight stuff, boot camp, if you're doing a bunch of different things, your growth is going to be inconsistent. So focusing specifically on growth is going to be the best way to actually grow. Okay. Remember, there's always a trade-off. What are your goals and what are you trying to do? If you're just literally, if you are just trying to build muscle and that is the only thing you're worried about, like for me, I'm metabolically healthy. My ability to utilize the 3 different metabolic pathways, phosphogene, ATP, glycolytic, oxidative fat, I can transfer back and forth between doing different things. My body is flexible in how it burns and utilizes energy. Okay. Right now, my goal isn't metabolic performance from a fuel burning perspective. My goal is put on muscle. That's what I'm trying to do. So everything that I'm doing is going to be focused on putting on muscle. I'm not doing that much cardio. I may do 1 day a week where I go for a walk or some kind of a hike, maybe with a weight vest, maybe it's just casual. I may do 1 workout a week where I'm doing some kind of rowing intervals or sprints or something like that. And that's about it. I'm not doing much of anything else, right? I want to maintain my metabolic conditioning, but I'm not trying to improve it. Okay. Because right now I'm focused just on getting stronger and getting more lean mass, more muscle. Okay. So something to think about. Make sure you might need to increase your protein and you need to be in a consistently executed weight training program. Be consistent. Okay. And then the third thing is I've really been digging into my sleep. Okay. The last week in particular, I've been trying to focus on getting at least 8 hours of sleep every single night. Okay. Now that has happened. I've been feeling way more energetic throughout the day. Things are feeling great. I'm getting more into a routine of doing that. But when I look at my analysis, I got a Samsung smartwatch here. It's tied into the app on my phone. I can analyze my sleep numbers. I'm getting about an 80 to 85% ratio of quality of sleep every night. And that's mostly due to the low amount of deep sleep that I'm getting. Okay, so I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. I've got some period of time that's light, some period of time that's REM. The period of time that I'm getting in deep sleep, that's where your body's highest with HGH, IGF-1, testosterone. That's when that's when your body's doing the most of the rebuilding and recovery time. Okay. My deep sleep time is averaging between 20 and 30 minutes. Okay. The target, what is recommended that you should be getting, is between 55 and 70 minutes. So I am less than half, okay, of what's recommended for deep sleep time. So I need to do some things to try to improve the quality of my sleep. So some of the things that I'm doing two main things. One, they say that I forget the exact time frame, but they say that for every, is it every hour? I forget what it is. Something about going to sleep after 12 o'clock. I have a habit of staying up late. Okay. So going to sleep after 12 o'clock decreases the amount of deep sleep that you get. Okay. Apparently, I didn't know this. Just found this out last week. Okay. So one of my plans is to start going to bed at 11, 10, 9, try to maybe start getting ready for bed at 9 o'clock and get in bed and try to start sleeping at 10. So take 2 hours and see if going to bed earlier increases my deep sleep. Okay. The other thing that I'm doing is I changed my magnesium. I used to take a magnesium supplement that was in a pill format. I changed that to a powder format because it's more bioavailable. It digests and is absorbed faster than the pill that I was taking. So I started doing that. That was the first thing, guys. Totally changed up how I went from sleeping and getting up about 2 to 3 hours every night and go to the bathroom. Okay. So I'd go to bed at say 12. I'd get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock, go to the bathroom, go back to bed. And then around 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'd get up and go to the bathroom again. Okay. So I get, you know, 3 to 4 hours max each night as the longest period of uninterrupted sleep. Okay. Since I started doing powdered magnesium, okay, I've been getting on average 5.5 hours as my longest amount of sleep period. So instead of getting up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock the first time, I'm going to sleep at 12. I'm getting up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock to go to the bathroom for the first time. That is huge for me. Okay. So we're going to hope, I'm going to hope, right? We're going to look and see how this works, right? Because we know sleep is important for building muscle. I'm going to go and keep doing this and then adding the magnesium in powder form in and going to bed earlier to see if that improves my ability to gain lean mass. All right. So those are the three things, guys. We talk about it all the time. We know that protein and work and sleep are the keys to building lean mass, but this is how, just walking through the process for me, I want you to have an understanding of how we look at this stuff and things that we can change and how we can make it better. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be doing this next couple of weeks. I'm not going to be doing an update every week. There's just too much stuff going on. So the next one you'll probably see is week 15. We'll see how 2 weeks of these changes affect things, and I'll let you know how it goes. Take it easy.